In this lesson, we're going to talk about the division of fractions that involve variables. So the good news is nothing is going to change. We're still going to follow the same steps. Remember that whenever we divide with fractions, we're keeping that first fraction exactly the same, but we're changing our value to multiplication times the reciprocal of the second fraction. So notice all I've done is I've flipped over the second fraction. Now, because I like to reduce before I multiply, I'm going to reduce a 2 on the top and on the bottom, and one of the x's on the top and on the bottom. And on the top, that leaves me with 2 y's, which is y squared. And on the bottom, that leaves me with 5 and with x. And I know that my answer is in simplest form because there are no common factors left on the top or bottom. Now I'm going to do the same thing with my second question. I'm going to keep the first fraction exactly the same. Then I'm going to change it to multiplication and find the reciprocal of my second fraction. And now that I've done that, I'm going to do some simplification before I multiply. So I've got an x on the top and an x on the bottom. And a 4 and a 2 will reduce by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. Negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. And it looks like there are no other things that I can cancel. So on the top I have negative 2 and I have x squared, which is negative 2x squared. And for my denominator I have 5y squared times 1 and times y. So I actually have 3 y's. So 5y to the third would be my answer. Here are two for you to try. They're both division, so change them to multiplication and then simplify and multiply. For my first, negative 3x over 2yz times 2z over negative 5xy. So be very careful with your negatives. I notice right away I have a negative and a negative, which will of course make it positive. So I'm just going to change them to positive now so I don't forget. I have an x on the top and an x on the bottom that I can cancel. I have a z on the top and a z on the bottom that I can cancel. I have a 2 on top and on bottom. And I think that's all I have. So now let's see what I have left. I have positive 3. And then nothing's left except for a 1, so 3 times 1 is 3. On the bottom, I have a y and a 5 and a y, which would be 5 and 2 y's, so 5y squared. And my last question, I have ab over 2ac times 3c over 4bc, and now I'm going to reduce what I can. So I have an A on the top and on bottom, a B on top and on bottom, a C on top and on bottom, and it looks like that's it. So now on the top, the numerator, I have only a 3, and then of course I have several 1s that I've sort of ignored. And my denominator, I have 2 times 4 and also a C, which is 8c. So that's my final answer.